Hey everybody, welcome back. Movie review time, where we geek out about a movie we just saw, and we just saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This is going to be our no spoiler discussion. We might be overly overlit. Whatever. This is going to be...
look good to me, which means yes, we are.
Yeah, I know. I like to brighten and post a little bit. Whatever, I'll fix it. So this is going to be our no spoiler discussion. We're just going to take a couple minutes to give you our general opinions about this film. And of course, we will make a spoiler video that should be out tomorrow, or already out if you're not watching this the day it comes out. And if we do accidentally spoil something in here, we'll cut it out. You got no worries about that. I would also like to say that we do not consider ourselves review critics. We're not really critics. We're just people that love movies, and we want to talk about them and geek out with you. And, you know, it's fun. I like to hear people talking about movies I like after I've seen them, so that's what I do.
All right.
That said, as usual, one of the things we like to do here is start off with the history, just to get a sense of where we're coming from with this film. And I have seen every Tarantino film he's directed, of course, most of what he's written. I grew up in that era. I was a kid working in a video store when he broke out and I was a wannabe filmmaker working in a video store when he was the big deal. You know, like him, Kevin Smith, all that whole run. So I come from that era. I've seen all those, from Dusk Till Dawn, which he wrote, or at least did he wrote the screenplay for. Is one of my probably my top 5 all-time favorite films. I've seen everything I said except for one. I have not gotten around yet to seeing the last one, The Hateful Eight, because somebody else wants to see it too, so I'm kind of waiting to watch it with her, and we just, time.
You should just start watching shit without me.
I sometimes do, but I realize that's why I hadn't gotten to it yet. We found out earlier. So you and Tarantino used to date in high school. Wait, what? No.
No, not my type.
Too talky, huh? He talks too much?
Yeah.
Too full of himself?
Yeah.
A filmmaker type?
Yeah.
Yeah. Likes horror movies and violence.
No, I was talking to him at dinner this evening. He's like, I'm pretty sure the only Tarantino I've seen is Inglourious Basterds.
Which is almost true. You've seen another Tarantino film, because you baffled me with this.
You mean just now?
No, not counting this.
Oh, you mean Sukiyaki Western?
I know what you're doing. Don't do that.
I genuinely do not know what the hell you're talking about.
Kill Bill, you said.
Oh, fuck. I keep forgetting about Kill Bill.
But here's the thing. She's only seen part 1. Which, okay. But she's seen part 1 twice.
I was with other people.
I know. I just still think that's really funny. Anyways, all that out of the way. I wasn't sure I really, really liked this movie until I got out of it and started thinking about it. And within a minute or two, I'm like, yeah, no, this was great. It's just certain expectations. Not that I had a lot of expectations, but it was definitely a little bit different from that. And really kind of my only major complaint, if at all, is about 30, 40 minutes into it, I kind of just thinking, is this actually gonna go anywhere? Is there actually a narrative in this? Because I do feel that this is his least narratively driven story he's done, and definitely his most self-indulgent story he's done. And I got a little worried, but nah, it all pays off like gangbusters and works out, so I was quite happy with that.
Yeah. And actually, some of his detours actually make sense later on down the road. Yeah. We'll get into that in spoilers.
Yeah.
But no, now here's the thing. This is borderline spoiler depending on how you feel about things.
If it's even borderline, don't do it. Don't spoil anything.
If you can't how am I supposed to talk about this movie?
Gee, I don't know. I find a way to do it all the time. I don't know why it's so difficult.
Because I don't know what you consider a fucking spoiler.
Anything that's going to be a specific detail of the movie is a spoiler.
Is his general filmmaking style a spoiler? Because he is known for certain things.
I mean, if you're going to get into some of the fetish stuff, that's fine.
No, actually was not what I was going to get into. But
because we all know he loves feet.
I was going to ask you about that.
Although he seems to switch to butts in this, even though he's got some feet shots.
He's got a lot of feet shots.
There was way more butt shots. He's following a lot of wiggling butts in this movie.
Well, it was the 60s. Did you see what they were wearing?
Yeah. Anyways, so I'm just going to say no then, because if you can't figure out if it's a spoiler or not.
Because there's things that I don't consider spoilers, and I'll say them, and they're going like, yeah, I'm going to have to cut that. So that's why.
No, I know. But I promise people no spoilers. I want to be very careful not to give them any spoilers. Save it for spoilers.
All right, fine. I'll save it for spoilers. I'll probably forget by then.
If you keep derailing like this, you will. But what did you think of the movie? I know,
I really enjoyed it. partly because of the thing that I'm not going to talk about.
That's fine. We'll talk about it in spoilers.
But
I mean, you like the comedy, the characters, the pacing,
I love
the
like
costumes, the world,
the banter and everything. I do like a lot of his dialogue, because I haven't actually watched the movies, but you can't get away from clips.
Yeah.
So I've seen bits and pieces of all the other movies.
Right. No, I know what you're saying. I can't think of the example in my Lion King. It's kind of like that for me.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen Lion King, but I pretty much knew the story just from clips I'd seen and all that. So.
Right.
Although I don't know that his are nowhere near as simplistic as something like a Lion King.
Actually, and I also really dug the soundtrack.
Yeah, well, that's again very common, and this is actually part of why I'm so surprised you've seen so few. Because with your musical taste and the kind of stuff you love, you're gonna love all his soundtracks. And if I had known how few, if I had thought about it, I would have been like, "Oh, Mary, we have to do the whole Tarantino-a-thon leading up to this."
With our copious amounts of free
Well,
time.
I would have planned weeks ahead because I do know how that goes. But yeah, so I'm not surprised you love the soundtrack. Soundtrack's great.
Because one of the things I dug was that there was like some deep cuts that you probably did not hear unless you grew up in that era.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, the soundtrack was so great to some of the audience members, old people, that I saw one motherfucker in the front row not only whip out his phone like an asshole douchebag, he Shazammed. He fucking Shazammed a song in the middle.
I did not notice that.
Well, the angle I'm at, you wouldn't have seen. If he was one more seat over, it would have been right in your eye line.
Oh.
But, and then, of course, the old people on the end next to us that were talking more than anybody. And, of course, the dude, like, just full brightness turns on his phone for 5 minutes near, anyways. Get off your fucking phones in a movie theater, assholes. All right, sorry. You know I got a
missed all of that.
Yeah, well, I was blocking you from a lot of it.
I try to pick. When we go to sit
derailing.
down in the movie theater, I really do try to go guess who's going to be the bigger asshole, and I do try to sit next to them.
I know. It's part of why I love you. We just chose poorly this time. But yeah, so soundtracks. You like the soundtrack. You like the banter.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I love.
Costuming was great.
Yeah, and I love like the Hollywood aspects of it because I mean, it's an actor and stuntman, so you see a lot of behind the scenes stuff, which felt really cool. Mm-hmm. You see some like clips and things from the fake movies, and even some real movie stuff that was really really cool. A lot of like even vintage radio bumpers and things like that are really cool. Which, by the way, stay through the credits, stay through all the credits.
Yeah.
Because I know we always just stay because I like to read the credits and you never know. And there was some funny shit in the credits and I can't even remember one of them. One of these guys had a nickname that had shitty in the nickname and they had like censor the word shitty. I know. Well, it was during a post-credit sequence, which is unusual for Tarantino. But even after that post-credit sequence, which is hilarious and awesome, there is one of the coolest radio bumpers ever.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not going to tell you what, obviously, but that got me. I actually misty-eyed at that bumper. It got me a little bit.
Okay.
Well, I can't say here.
I enjoyed it.
Well, I do have a pretty good reason, but
okay.
But we'll get into that in spoilers. But yeah, so do check out that. It is a 2 hour and 40 minute movie. It probably feels like 2.5 hours. But I think that's more just because it's like I needed to pee by the end, and I'm like
that will kill you.
Yeah, and then I mean again, I am still kind of waiting like. Are we going somewhere? Is he actually going to pull the rug out from under us and be like, nah, we aren't going anywhere, or what?
There's been one occasion where we get so far into one storyline, and then you're like, and you're like, this is the movie now, and then it suddenly will jump back to this other storyline and be like, oh yeah, that thing was happening, wasn't it?
And again, I can't get too specific here, but there's a kind of a film or television trope that they used super briefly one time in the beginning of the movie, and I'm like, oh, are they gonna do that? That could be cool. And then it's like 2 hours, and then they don't do it again, and you forget about it, but then they start leaning into that trope heavy, and I'm like, oh, well, this feels kind of weird, because I feel like it should have been layered throughout the movie if they're gonna do that. It reminded me of a fairly famous TV show, but I can't say here, because I don't want to spoil what the trope is, even.
I'm not even sure which trope you're talking about.
Yeah,
so.
That's what I'm saying. I'd have to. But again, you get some great characters, some great cast. It was great to see, well, I guess I probably shouldn't say, because they aren't major cast listed, so I'll be careful with spoilers myself. But we'll talk more about that in spoilers. One particularly, I was very excited. Like, yes, he's still getting movies. Fuck yeah. Which has sort of a roundabout From Dusk Till Dawn thing. Anyways.
Anywho.
But yeah, no, it's great. The fights are awesome. What violence there is in the movie is very violent and satisfying. Lots of laughs, lots of like out loud laughs. There's some great lines in here. The whole theater just roaring with some moments. So I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, and again, Leonardo DiCaprio, fantastic in this. Brad Pitt, fantastic. It's great seeing them together. They're great apart on their own. You know, the Manson stuff is really interesting. I do like what they did with Margot Robbie. I heard a lot of articles and stuff talking about how, like, she doesn't have much to say, but it's like, yeah, but I get it. You know, seeing the movie, it makes sense. She says a lot with her physical performance.
Yeah.
And then one other thing, you see some people that are pregnant in here, and I was going to ask you, were those some of the worst, like, fake bellies you'd ever seen, though? Because there was a couple of them, and both of them to me looked like they had an overinflated beach ball.
It depends on how close you are to popping.
I guess, but...
And when you're as tiny as they are,
yeah,
it looks fucking huge.
I guess that can be true, and I'm just used to, because I've also seen tiny people not be that bellyish, but I mean, I don't know. For some reason, that just caught my eye, like, it just doesn't... But I guess it is accurate, because it was K&B, and they know what the hell they're doing, so... I don't know, it just kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah. And I think it was also emphasized by the fact that even though they're hugely pregnant, they're wearing these micro mini skirts.
That could be it too, tight clothing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And oh my God, I will give you one warning here though. If you by chance are trying to quit smoking or have recently quit smoking, or if you're one of those people that has petitioned Netflix to get rid of smoking in shows like Stranger Things that takes place in the 80s where everybody smokes all the time, don't see this movie right now. There is so much fucking smoking in this movie. So much. I joked with her after. It's like, wow, that movie made me want to start smoking again. I mean, not really, but it's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it is excessive. To the point where they draw attention to it. Like, it's intentional. You know, there's multiple places of it being drawn attention to. And the dog was awesome.
Oh, I love the dog. Brandy. You're a
Fine girl. Oh, wow, Kurt Russell. Anyways, all right. Yeah, sure. We'll wrap up the no spoilers. That's what we thought. Obviously, it's Tarantino. You've already made up your mind if you're going to go see this. And if you love Tarantino movies, you're going to love this one. It's just going to be a matter of where does it fall in the rankings for you. For me right now, immediately out of the theater, it's probably lower on the list, but I mean, that's like, I mean, you know, that's still like, even his worst movie is a phenomenal movie. It's like ranking doctors in Doctor Who. Like, I love every doctor. So even if you're at the bottom of the list, I still adore the hell out of you. But again, I think I just need more time to process it. And again, that's where he's a master filmmaker. His films leave you with something and you do want to think about it. And they're not disposable, forgettable things necessarily. You know, you're going to come out with bits months later, be like, oh yeah, then there was that one scene. So that's my thoughts. And I'm sticking to it.
Apparently, though, I can't remember Kill Bill.
True.
All right. Like, oh yeah, I did see that.
And as usual, if you are spoiler phobic, which I understand, make sure you stay out of the comments because sometimes people just get excited and accidentally go spoil something without even thinking about it. Otherwise, you can let us know if you're brave and want to go down there, if you're coming out to see it, if you've already seen it, if you're excited, if you agree or just flat out disagree with us. But if you want to do specifics, wait till the spoiler video comes out. But we do love to read your comments and see what you have to say. Other than that, you can click that good old thumb of encouragement, as we do love to be encouraged. And I guess now we're going to get out of here so we can go watch some more stuff. We'll see you all later.